Hey, welcome to our Friday afternoon broadcast. If you're jumping on live, welcome. If you're catching this on the rebroadcast, we always appreciate you stopping by and checking out what we're talking about. Please take a second, if you haven't already done so, to hit that like button and make sure you're set up for notifications. This will also be set up on my YouTube channel over on YouTube at DianeParham.com. YouTube/DianeParham, no.com at the end, sorry about that. Make sure that you're subscribed there and that you're set up for notifications as well. So when we do upload these from our Facebook page, you'll be notified that they have been put on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about keto-like feasting and how it can benefit you. We are not promoting a specific diet. I always like to make that clear so everyone can hold off on making a comment about the fact that we're keto. We're not keto. We like to live what makes sense as far as maintaining our intake of nutrients. And what we have found is that following a lifestyle that is higher in fat, which tastes better, feels better, and just better for us overall health-wise, moderate style of protein, we do not need to over-protein ourselves, and being very conscious about our carbohydrates has really helped us feel best in our 50s and really has helped us optimize what it is that we want to get out of our life in general: fitness, energy, mental clarity, all of those things. So what we wanted to do was share with you some foods that are very keto-like, that if you just incorporated some more of these foods into your life, you would be able to adapt the benefits of living a keto lifestyle without necessarily having to micromanage your macros, eliminate all the fun foods in your life, and feel like you're not benefiting from what really creating your own lifestyle would be. So we really do practice this and really try to stay on the side of being more keto-like than keto, and it really has helped us maintain the flexibility and freedom that we like to have with our family and social life and stuff like that. So one of the foods that you really want to keep an eye on and incorporate in your life if you're not practicing a vegan or a vegetarian type of lifestyle is seafood. And more specifically, salmon is one of those seafood items that is really recommended when trying to follow a keto-like lifestyle because it is really high in fat. And it has actually been shown to reduce insulin levels. So you're kind of getting the double benefit there, and it tastes good. I know there are some people who are really working on getting their fat intake up, and I know we practice this as well. Like, we smother our salmon with another food that we're going to talk about adding in more to be more keto-like, and that's avocado. So adding avocado on top of the salmon or with your plate when you're serving up salmon is another great benefit to just getting those intakes of fat up there and doing it in a really flavorful way. You don't have to do anything fancy about it. Just make sure that anything you add on your salmon is going to be something that's going to really get you on that road of looking and feeling your best. Number two, or the second food item that's highly recommended when you're really trying to sway more keto-like, would be low carb vegetables. So if you're following a really strict keto diet and you're following the macro guidelines for staying within the ketogenic diet description, then vegetables are not one of those foods that they really recommend, at least in most mainstream type of things. And then when you're following this lifestyle, what we always recommend is being very conscious of the vegetables that you do add in. So starchy carbs or starchy vegetables are the ones that you want to, make sure that you're just aware of where they're falling in your week or your month or your day or whatever. Those would be like the more root type vegetables, the potatoes, the beets, the carrots. Those are on the higher glycemic. Not to say that they have to be avoided. We love our potatoes.
We
right?
do add those in for sure.
We do. And we
we're keto-like,
right.
Not keto.
Keto. And then you just want to make sure that you're eating whole potatoes, not processed stuff that's pressed together that are called potatoes. So make sure that you understand what's in the potato that you're eating, and then you have the opportunity as well with potatoes to add more, and even carrots, add more fat to them. So we cook ours in our air fryer and add lots of avocado oil and coconut oil and things like that, just to kind of get the fat up when you're adding in something that's going to be a little on the starchier side. Anything else you want to add to that?
I just want to say that, there's the buzzword right now is just keto, 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 and there's so many people that feel like they want to, or they're trying to live a keto lifestyle. and follow a keto diet when there's a lot of people they're just not keto at all. That's why we never claim to be keto. I mean, the whole goal is to get into ketosis, and you can do that on a strict keto diet, but it has to be strict. I mean, you should be in between 20 and 50 carbs a day. And if you're not tracking that, you're never going to get into ketosis. You're going to get kicked out. You're going to stay out of ketosis. So that's why we do intermittent fasting combined with this diet style. And we found some great benefits from doing it.
Yep. Another big hot food item when you're following a keto-like lifestyle or a ketogenic specifically diet is cheese. We're pretty dairy-free. I would say like 90% dairy-free, which is another reason why it's really hard for us to really try to wrap our heads around being strict ketogenic, is because there's a lot of foods on here we just don't eat. Cheese is one of those things we're very, very cautious of because everyone in our family is lactose intolerant. And so you want to just make sure that you can tolerate the cheese. There is what is that? It's conjugated linoleic acid. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard other people pronounce it before. It's one of those things that's like not grammatically the way it's spelled is linoleic acid. The things found in cheese, and there's another place that this CLA is what it's called. You can actually get it as CLA in a supplement form as well. And it's basically the fats found in cheeses and a lot of meats. You can take it in a supplement form. And it's linked to helping with fat loss and improved body composition, so lean muscle mass kind of thing. So you just want to make sure that that's one of those things that you're not desperately taking, that you're doing the other things as well to promote fat loss and lean muscle mass and those kind of things. So so the conjugated linoleic acid is how you pronounce it, is one of those things that you can get benefits from nutritionally. But let's say you're vegan or vegetarian and you don't want to necessarily eat cheese and you don't want to necessarily eat meat. You can add in a supplement. I don't know if the supplement is actually vegan or not, but you don't have to eat those things and you can get the benefit from the CLA there as well. And then number 4, we already talked about this. It was avocados. There are 2 net grams of carbs on average for a half of an avocado, and the fat content in avocado is great. Omega-3s in that is great. I mean, it's just, there's nothing wrong with avocado ever. So avocado is definitely one of those things you want to reach for a lot, especially if you are maybe vegan or vegetarian and you're not going to get your fat sources.
We do reach for it a lot.
Yeah, we have avocado on the daily. So don't be afraid to eat an avocado. I say the best way to eat an avocado is with a knife and fork and salt and pepper. Like, don't save an avocado in the refrigerator. If you open one, eat it. Eating an entire avocado every day is not a bad thing. So don't fear the fat in the avocado. And it's definitely something that's good for you with a lot of other added benefits as well. And it's also, avocado has also been shown to improve cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So it's one of those good fats you want to have.
Makes you feel full too.
Yeah, it definitely sends signals to your hunger hormones, the sensation that you're nutrient efficient, and so it'll shut off some of your hunger hormones. So the 5th one is meat. Again, not important to you if you're vegan or vegetarian, but when you're looking for meat, if you're trying to like raise up your fat content or maybe even get some protein in your diet, you want to look for grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Grass finished is the most important part, so you know that the beef that you're consuming is actually being fed what it said it's being fed. Grass fed by definition means that your animal could only have been fed 1 grain of grass. Excuse me, I just drank some carbonated water. So you want to make sure that you understand the definitions of packaging with meat products as well. So grass-fed, grass-finished is what you want to look for. High amounts of omega-3 in that, as well as the conjugated linoleic acid. And then eggs are like the superfood for following this type of lifestyle. Again, if you're not avoiding any kind of meat or dairy, eggs are fantastic. You want to eat the entire egg, so don't throw away that precious yolk anymore. God, if I could have $1 for every egg yolk I threw away.
I used to do so many just egg whites, and it's just a lot of flawed studies that the yolk is harmful to your heart and cholesterol, heart disease, and all that. And really not true. They're finding now that it actually benefits your heart.
Yeah, and eggs have been shown to create the sensation of fullness. So again, nutrient dense. So they send a trigger to your hunger hormones that let your brain know that you are being satiated, and will kind of ease off the hunger pangs, as well as regulating blood sugar levels. So you want to keep those eggs. And if you're on our email list, you lucky people, you would have received an email today with a way that we make a really nice recipe for what we call deviled-like eggs, with mayonnaise, mustard, a little bit of pickle relish, and what else do we put in there? Kara will know. She'll let me know.
I don't remember. It was really good.
But it was really good. Really good. And it's a specific type of mustard that we use that really does make it taste good. And you just scoop it right back into the egg, and then we can scoop it in the egg, or you can put it on what we call the rice cracker, really thin rice cracker, so really low carb. Just scoop it back in the egg. We made ours like an egg salad. That's what we did. We put it in the KitchenAid, and we blended it up with the entire egg and the relish and the mayonnaise and the mustard and some seasoning, and just blended it up and then spread it over some really thin rice crackers. And it was awesome, an awesome little snack. And if you'll get that in your inbox today if you're on your email list. And then coconut oil, of course, we know about coconut oil. Coconut oil got a bad rap for about a split second, so don't believe any of that. It wasn't true. Coconut oil is derived of, it has an MCT oil effect, so medium chain triglyceride, which aids in your body's ability to burn its own fat as a source of energy, helps your body, convert that fat burning into ketones, which helps you get into ketosis. So it is definitely used for that. It also is great for brain health, and if you are needing a boost of energy before a workout or something, taking a shot of coconut oil or doing something with some MCT oil, and it will actually act as sort of a pre-workout energy release for you, because it will help your body actually start to metabolize its own fat. And then the eighth one we want to suggest is yogurt or cottage cheese. Again, those are those iffy things, because you have to make sure that if you're going to be eating cheese, you eat good cheese. So the American cheese slices in the cellophane wrap, unless you know what the processing process of that, are probably not going to be your best bet, but nonetheless, it's cheese. So we have found that the drier, white, sort of flaky cheese tends to be the best for us as lactose intolerant people.
Manchego from Costco. Wow.
It's been a
wow,
long
that
week.
was, yeah.
From Costco.
Costco.
So, that's the best place to get it.
Costco.
Manchego cheese is a sheep cheese from Spain, and it really is good, and it has a lower content of lactose. Some Swiss cheeses also work the same, as well as some Parmesan cheeses, but you just want to make sure you're getting a good quality aged cheese. The more aged it is, the less lactose rebounds you're going to get from it. And then the thing with cottage cheese I always like to warn people about is you have to read the ingredients label of your cottage cheese container. Not all cottage cheese is made the same. The lower fat ones, or the zero fat ones, usually contain carrageenan, which is about the equivalent of soy or soy lecithin as far as an additive that they put in there. So it's like mimicking milk fat. That's how they make it fat-free. They stuff it full of carrageenan, and it's really, really bad for us. It's just a really poor substitute for fat. It is, it's bad, basically. So you don't want to have any cottage cheese with carrageenan, and we want to have our fat levels up. So eat full fat cottage cheese if you're going to eat it, but take the second to read the food ingredients label on that for sure. And then number 9 is oil. We recommend oil in this order: avocado, coconut, olive, and then grapeseed. And that's just from cooking factors that are associated with those oils. Avocado oil has the highest burn rate and doesn't really have much of a flavor to it. What do you think about using coconut oil, Michael, for like baking and all that?
It tastes really good. So you're definitely not going to be missing anything. It actually makes it a little bit sweeter, because we've used it for making like gluten-free pancakes, and they come out really good, really tasty.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
We also put coconut oil on. What other things we put coconut oil on? I'm trying to think, like vegetable-wise. That's it. You can like steam some carrots. It always seems that they go with the higher carb vegetables. beets in coconut oil is good. Carrots in coconut oil is good. So you do kind of have a higher carb food, but you're adding in a lot of extra fat, which definitely helps. So it does have the sweetness, tastes great for baking as well. And then we use avocado oil for just about everything. Salads, we put it on top of baked potatoes. We'll put it on our meat sometimes. If you have a dry piece of meat, throwing some avocado oil on there just totally adds some nice moisture and helps with the consistency of dryness. So oil. When in doubt, I say put more oil. Don't be afraid of using oil. And then number 10 is the nuts and seeds aspect of this lifestyle. So those are great for snacks, adding on salads. We talked Wednesday about adding in magnesium to our life. Pumpkin seeds are a great source of magnesium. Our barukas that we absolutely love are an excellent source of magnesium as well. If you want information about barukas, just email me or put a message on this feed, and we'll get you the information on how you can order that and get a little discount on those. So fiber and magnesium in those bad boys. So, but know what your seeds are comprised of nutrient-wise. So there are higher carb nuts and seeds, and there's lower carb nuts and seeds. So know what your net carb count is on what it is you're snacking on, so you don't end up ruining a good day of feasting thinking that you were eating nuts when in fact they could have a really high carb load on them. So make sure you do your research and know which carbs are going to best suit what the outcome of your lifestyle is.
And we didn't really mention that with the shellfish, but there's shellfish that have a carb count, and if you're not, like I talked about before, if you're not keeping a strict count of your carbs, you could be taking in all kinds of carbs and you're never in ketosis. So That's why you really have to be careful if you consider yourself keto.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is if it tastes sweet, it is sweet. And if it is sweet, there's usually a reason for that. And what I'm finding is that the more sweet sensation you get from something usually is the higher carb count. And you can use color too, things that are like fruit especially. We're going to talk about fruit here next. Fruit, if it's colorful, is usually sweeter. Like lemons, limes, greens, and yellows are usually like on the lower carb side. And then like reds and oranges are usually like the higher carb count side. So you want to make sure you're aware of those kind of things too. And if it tastes sweet, it is sweet. And if it is sweet, it has sugar. So berries are a great addition to a keto-like lifestyle too. The only time I say avoid fruit is if you're trying to correct an insulin-resistant problem that you might have, or maybe control some blood sugar levels that are out of control. And then I say avoid fruit. When you get all that fixed and sort of stabilized, then you can start experimenting with adding some fruit back in. And the best place to start is berries.
Blackberries are the best, right, for the starts the carb count? Blackberries
have 5 net carbs per serving. Blueberries are 12, raspberries are 6, and strawberries are 6. So blackberries are going to be your best bet. But the thing to keep in mind about blueberries, a lot of people don't know this, is that they actually help lower the glycemic index of other foods. So they do carry a high net carb count on them, but they also help your body regulate blood sugar levels positively in a different way. So you can add them in, just be aware of their carb load count so you don't overdo it. And you actually, those are things I say you want to measure out so you don't eat an entire Costco serving, which is a huge basket of blueberries. And then butters and creams, again, not applicable if you're vegan or vegetarian or dairy free. But it also has the CLA as far as butters and creams go. Again, the same with cheeses and meats, so it's sort of like an animal products kind of thing, and that does aid in promoting fat loss. With butters and creams, again, read your ingredients labels, because not all food manufacturers make butter and cream in the same processing way. So they'll sneak soy in on you, and they'll sneak carrageenan in on you, and they'll sneak casein on you. And those are 3 things that those additives you really want to stay away from. And then make sure you're going full fat on everything. Nothing low fat, nothing 0% fat, nothing 2% fat. Eat the fat, go full fat on those. And those ones that are usually full fat don't have those additives in there because they don't need them. The food's doing what it's supposed to do. And then 14 is olives. You want to make sure that you're eating plenty of olives. Olives are just a good source of fat. They satisfy the snacking sensation, that kind of dish to mouth thing that we sometimes miss emotionally, mentally, and even just the physical aspect of that. When we're really being conscious about what we're eating. So we open a can and we
eat them all.
You can. Yeah, don't be afraid. They're also anti-inflammatory in nature. And then 7 to 10 olives is about 1 net carb. I don't know. We open a can, we eat a can. We don't really measure any of those things, but it's just kind of like having that knowledge sort of in your filing cabinet in your brain does kind of help. So if you notice that you're kind of going too far on in a way you're not happy with, pay attention to some of these things and then go back and revisit what their carb count is for sure.
And as a warning, coconut oil and butter, you have to be careful with if you're not used to trying to live a ketogenic diet. A lot of times people start using the coconut oil and you'll get a reaction from it. We both did because we were overusing it. Same thing with butter. People like to do the butter coffee and they're finding they're not getting results because their body's reacting a certain way to that amount of butter. So you have to kind of be cautious when it comes to that.
Yeah, and that's just listening to the signs and signals your body's sending you.
But you're hitting me.
No, I wouldn't hit you. Not on TV, not on film. You want to be.
Yes, Cowboys. I know they're not looking very good, but anyway.
You do want to pay attention to those signs and signals. So when Michael and I started this, we were doing a lot of coconut oil, and our body started developing allergic type of reactions, inflammatory type of things. And so we had to really dial it back. So yes, there's a lot of really great things about coconut oil. Yes, it helps your body utilize fat for energy, blah, 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 blah. But if your body can't tolerate it, then it reverses the positive effects and starts creating negative effects, and you don't want to do that. So just because everybody's putting butter in their coffee doesn't necessarily mean you need to put butter in your coffee. So if something's not feeling right, go back and think about all those little extras that you're doing, and do you need them or can you eliminate them?
Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get used to, coconut oils, butters, even the magnesium. I mean, when we started drinking a lot of our sparkling water, it'll come up on you pretty quick. So if you know what I mean, so you have to kind of watch that and maybe start a little bit slower if you're drinking, whatever water you're drinking, Mountain Valley, or you're doing,
or even adding in a bunch of magnesium-rich foods. It all ends up in the same.
Right.
If it has to go through your gut, it doesn't matter what form it comes in. It's still going to be processed through your gut. So whether you're drinking your magnesium, or you're consuming your magnesium in supplements, or you're putting it in like a food type of thing that's high in magnesium. You remember we talked about on Wednesday, your body has the fail-safe system. So magnesium isn't necessarily toxic. It's very efficient. And if your body has too much of it, it flushes it out. Like literally through your digestive system. And so you just want to pay attention to those things and then figure out where you can pull back a little bit, maybe ease back into it slowly again until you kind of build up your resistance to it, because it's not bad for you and your body won't utilize what it doesn't need. So it's not like it's toxic. You just got to make sure that your digestive system has a chance to adjust, basically.
Right.
And then, of course, coffee and tea, black in its purest form, if you can get it. It does increase metabolism, physical performance, and mood. So caffeine is a mood kind of thing. If you're feeling blue or kind of fatigued or whatever, a little dose of caffeine never hurts anybody. Again, you just want to make sure you have really good quality teas and coffees, and make sure, again, you're reading your ingredients label. You would be surprised at what they add into things like tea bags to preserve tea and to flavor them. So you want to know where your source is and what's on the ingredients labels of those. And then dark chocolate, amen to that one. You just want to make sure it's 70% or higher in the cacao solids. And again, dark chocolate is high in antioxidants. The thing to remember about things like coffee, coconut oil, butters, chocolate, all of those things, they're not necessarily life-sustaining, they're extras. So if you feel like you're holding on to them or abusing them in like an overuse type of situation, like you have to have your coffee to get through the day, or I'm gonna die without my chocolate kind of mentality, you wanna go back and reevaluate what it is you're doing in your other areas of your feasting and your fasting, and why are you creating that sort of desperate need for a thing? Why are you developing a craving, or why are you having a reaction to something? And are you becoming a little bit obsessive compulsive about it, thinking it's going to provide a quick fix? Because that's what we did. Coconut oil, we're like, fat loss, energy, all of those things, heck yeah, every opportunity. We were rubbing it in our skin and putting it in our hair, and we were drinking it in our coffee, and we were cooking with it, and we developed an allergic reaction to it. Excuse me. Now we're fine with it. Like, we can put coconut oil on our potatoes, but it's usually a singular occurrence in a day, and our body has now acclimated to it, so we're fine, so we can get the benefits of it.
And coffee's great. If you're intermittent faster, coffee is excellent, but you have to be careful too with drinking coffee every day, and then you're also trying to incorporate a pre-workout formula, and then at night you're going, God, why can't I sleep? Especially if your pre-workout's caffeinated, so you have to kind of be aware of that. And I mean, it's great to have coffee if you're intermittent fasting, but you have to know that sometimes you might have to give it up for a few days if you're having trouble sleeping.
The other thing to keep in mind about stuff like coffee and chocolate can also be that thing that kind of keeps you awake, is that when your body becomes really efficient at using its own energy sources to fuel you through your day, and you're drinking coffee out of habit, and your body doesn't need the caffeine, it can work against you too. So there's plenty of days I go with 0 caffeine in my day because my body just doesn't need it. It's energizing itself because I've trained it to do that. So always be willing to keep, kind of your eye on those kind of things and adjust when necessary. Take things away, test it out, put things back in, test it out. Not all of these things have to be included in your life to be successful at this lifestyle. Or creating your own lifestyle is the better way that I like to describe that. You don't have to check everything off the list we just suggested. But if you're at a loss and you're feeling like you're not reaping the benefits and you think you're doing everything right, take a look at some of the things we just included on the list for you, and could you add a little bit more of one of these things and take away something that maybe wasn't on the list and try to find a new balance for yourself?
Well, some things just might not work out for you. Some things will work out and you like it, or you might not like the way some things taste, and just kind of experiment and figure out what's what you like and what's really working for you is the key.
Yeah, and just because it works for someone else or a group of other people may not work for you. There's a lot of things that don't work for me, and people swear by them, and I'm happy for them, but I don't need to mimic someone else's life, and that's a big thing too. Don't mimic anybody else. Create your own lifestyle. We're tired. I've talked 3.5 hours. This is my 3rd hour, well, almost an hour, right? It's my 3rd live today. So I've been talking for 3.5 hours straight, and I think I am out of words, which is a pretty big deal for me because I could talk all day.
It is a big deal.
I'm tired. Michael's at the end of his week. We're about ready to enjoy the weekend. I'm chaperoning. I don't always wear my kids' school logo clothes, but this week Gabby's dance theme is college. So we're repping SMU. So I'm going to go in my jeans and my SMU shirt to be the chaperone at Gabby's dance tonight. So that's always fun, hanging out with a bunch of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Super fun. I highly recommend, if you want to know what your kids are doing, who their friends are, how they act in a dance type of social situation, chaperone a dance. It's super fun and it's super interesting, and then everybody gets to know you by your last name, and then when they see you on the street, they know that you got eyeballs on them, and it's super great way to get involved in your community. So I'll be doing that tonight. Michael's hanging home with Callie. And we're going to just have a really relaxing weekend. We pray that you guys have the same thing. Hope you can find some time to just chill out. If you're following us along with the Happiness Advantage, today we talked about some things you can incorporate in your life to create happiness habits for you. That's up on my Instagram page at For Today's Aging Woman. It'll be live there for the next 24 hours. And then if you don't catch it there, you can always catch it on our blog as well, dianeparham.com. And then we are going to be, I'll be introducing a new lesson in my September refresher course for the weekend, some things for you guys to do this weekend. And then we'll touch base with the September people and you guys as well. We'll be posting some stuff throughout the weekend. Have a great weekend.
And we're praying for all the people in the Carolinas and everywhere that storm's hitting. It's going to be a difficult next few days, and we'll be praying. We hope everybody prays for them as well.
And if anyone hears in that situation, reach out and let us know specifically so we can make sure we direct some specific prayers your way. And if you need anything, maybe we can connect you with some resources that might be able to help you as well. We're connected with a really great organization called Team Rubicon, and they go out in these types of situations and help people. So if you need some immediate assistance or you know someone who does, reach out to us and we'll see if there's something we can do to get you guys connected.
You want to read some questions?
Yeah, I didn't really see any questions. Let's see. Amiwa from Beijing. Hello, girlfriend. Good to have you with us.
Wow.
Let's see. Robin, it's good to see you. She just went to go see Hamilton, and I think she was in like one of the first 4 rows or something like that. Yeah, lucky girl. Shirley, hello from North Carolina. Girlfriend, hold on tight and get out of there if you can, if you feel like you need to get out of there, and reach out to us if you need anything. Hi from Chicago, just joining, was watching you on YouTube, fasting and brain health. Awesome. I hope it was some good information for you. Yep. Quiet day today. Alana, I feel like a stalker. I was just watching you on Instagram TV. Girlfriend, you're not a stalker. You're what would you, I don't want to say fan because that's not appropriate. You're
family.
Family.
Part of the team.
You're family. You're part of the community, girlfriend.
Part of the community.
Hang out with us anytime you want. We have an open door policy. You're welcome through any door you want. You can stay as long as you want as well. So we love having you here. Thanks for jumping around with us. I know sometimes that's difficult too. Okay, so we're going to get out of here. I'm going to rest my voice before I have to go pick up kids and be a chaperone mom tonight at the dance. We will see you guys around this weekend.
Have a great weekend.